One of the biggest problems in the educational system is the post COVID learning loss and academic apathy crisis. If you don't know, learning loss occurs when a student's comprehension and retention skills lag behind their current grade level, while academic apathy is about the disengagement, inattention, and lack of motivation that lead to learning loss. With the lockdown, COVID exacerbated these issues, and the effects still linger years after the pandemic, with educators struggling to find effective mitigation strategies for the students falling behind. Educators have to juggle several classes, lesson plans, and a gaggle of students with learning styles that may not always match their delivery. Learning management systems help them manage grades and lesson plans, but can't offer help beyond that. Educators need a new way to manage their classes and pinpoint when a student is struggling before failure occurs. And students need a new way to remain engaged with their content that can adjust to their learning habits and environment to create a unique AR experience that builds their knowledge and skills. This is where ScholAR comes in handy. ScholAR is a context-aware management tool and gaming experience built to support educators and students in their academic journeys. For educators, this interface takes some key components of LMS tools they're familiar with, such as managing lessons and multiple classes, while adding new features that allow them to monitor their class's academic progression, any improvements or declines in the core areas of focus, and notify them of which students are in danger of failing or disengaging with their content. Looks like Megan is struggling with retention, so much so that the system has alerted you it's becoming a problem. Let's pull up a report and see what's going on. Here we can see Megan's current grade average, improvements or declines in her focus areas, her last 3 lesson grades that caused the system to notify the teacher of her troubles, and her learning styles, which informs the recommendations the system offers. By focusing on the last 3 lesson grades as opposed to just one, we minimize the risk of error or falsely notifying the teacher of issues when a bad grade may just be a one-off for a student. 3 lessons establish that there is a potential pattern growing that alerts the teacher to intervene. Now that we know the issue and see the evidence as to why, we can view the recommendations and description of how the system will update Megan's content to improve her retention skills. However, as an educator, you do not have to implement all 3 actions. You have the freedom to decide whether to implement only one or override all recommendations. There may be instances where you feel those recommendations are not sufficient and would rather talk to the student and decide a course of action together. During override, you can send a student consultation request to the student's device, notifying them that you would like to see them for a discussion. Want to manage your lessons and check out grades? Let's head to the Lessons tab, where you can view all courses and classes. You can filter by date, class, lesson number, or search to narrow the results. Here's also where you can upload lessons or archive ones that are no longer active. If you wish to edit a lesson or double check that grades were scored correctly by the system, you can select this button to view grades and material within this lesson. Overall, for educators, ScholAR provides the opportunity to manage your classes, determine the exact moment a student begins to disengage with your content, and provide recommendations to fix it without overstepping boundaries or acting as the teacher itself. For students, the dashboard is a place where you can view your achievements, grades on your current and recent lessons, and check out your avatar. Additionally, if you find you are struggling with a lesson or need assistance, you can contact your teacher for a consultation. Curious what your learning habits and stats look like? Head over to the Analytics tab. Here you can view where you've improved or declined in areas of focus, and learn about your dominant learning styles. Additionally, you can check out your growth, as well as see a projection of your end-of-year or semester grade. Time to game. To launch the AR experience, you will first scan a QR code in the environment. These QR codes are linked to the lesson plans your teacher uploaded on their dashboard. From there, depending on the lesson and your learning style, you can interact with the lesson through voice, touch, or gesture-based interactions. For this lesson, we use the voice and touch to have the student capture the cell, then vocalize which cell you've caught. When the lesson ends, you can check out your grade and how awesome you did. At the end, you can view a summary of your answers, as well as see any achievements or rewards you unlocked. Looks like you got a cool hat. Let's add it to your avatar. When you're done, you can proceed to the next lesson, scan a new QR code in the environment, or return home. Overall, for students, ScholAR helps you learn about your learning habits while adapting to your learning style, prolonging engagement while building your application, retention, and comprehension skills through a fun AR experience. Essentially, ScholAR aims to support educators by providing any knowledge they may need to help their students and build student self-esteem by making learning engaging and fun for them. Thanks for learning about ScholAR today. Happy learning!